Bum, bum. Oh my God, it's so good already. Oh. Oh. So anybody listening, I don't know if you guys can hear it on your side, but you're going to hear what sounds like a bass line. I mean, technically it is still a bass line, but there's no bass player. It's two 8-string guitars rocketed in that register of bass lines, man. So your members are Matt Garska on the drums, Tosin Abasi on one guitar, and Javier, whose last name escapes me, Javier, who plays on the other 8-string guitar. These three guys are sick. And I've noticed that, like, I think when people are really passionate about music and musicians and artists in general that they listen to, they want to say who's best. And I think that's just a way of, like, trying to validate how strongly you feel about the artist. But in this case, I really like the drummer. He's sick. Now, what's messing me up is I know Animals as Leaders switched drummers at one point, like super early in the career. And I can't, Matt Garska, I've only ever known him as having this goatee. So this drummer, I'm really difficult to see if it's Matt Garska. Can you guys let me know in the fucking comments, please? Please let me know. Here we go. Oh man, the camera work is so cool. Oh yeah, here we go. So a lot of people call this progressive. You can call it progressive. I just like to call it awesome. Tosin was one of the front runners as the main composer of this band. At least it was said that he was one of the main composers of the band. The project actually started as Tosin just wanting to write instrumental music, but then he surrounded himself with the badassery that is Javier and Matt, and they just kind of became a full-fledged band without any vocalists. It's instrumental only. All of their albums have been, as far as I know. So check it out, guys. I got into Animals as Leaders later with their next album that followed this one. I think this song is from the self-titled, if I'm correct. Please let me know. But I got into it with the album that followed it called The Joy of Motion. It had killer songs on it, like Physical Education, which is a hilarious music video, by the way. Check that one out. And Woven Web, which really showcased this move that Tosin got known for on guitar called thumping. Ask yourself, what would happen if an established guitar player with theory and technical prowess in their left hand brought in bass-style slapping on an 8-string guitar, and you get... Yeah, see? Like, I kind of want to tell you guys all the notes and stuff that he's playing and dissect the arpeggio and whatnot, but I'm just going to let it ride. Let it ride. Notice that he's hitting the fretboard with his tapping hand, as we call it. Like, he's tapping the fretboard to keep kind of a rhythm, but that rhythm, actually, he's getting a note when he hits it and when he brings it off. Hits it on, brings it off, hits it on, brings it off. In perspective, would be this. He'd be tapping like this, and he's moving this fretboard around, changing the notes and the spacing between what he's tapping. Essentially, that's what he's doing. He's making them further away and closer back together. Without getting into theory nerd mode about what notes and what key and what chord and arpeggio, blah, 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 blah. Just understand that. He's tapping it multi while moving his left hand around the tapping center kind of style of the note, and that's how you're getting these weird, like, delayed effects. It's so cool. Fisheye lens, very cool. Oh. Visuals are weird. Yeah, so right now he's double tapping, or double finger tapping. A lot of times you'll see a guitar player hold their pick. I got a pick here somewhere. Here you go. So I got like my guitar pick, right? And if I'm like strumming along doing stuff, a lot of us are taught to use our middle finger and tap because then the pick stays in playing position. So I can play some stuff and then tap kind of thing and play some stuff and tap, yada, yada. In older days, 80s, it was common to like cradle your pick, it was called, where you would hold it in from your playing position. Your middle finger would scoop it like this. Boom. I don't know if you can see. I try to do it with the wrong hand. I try and scoop it into my into my finger like that to expose my first finger, index finger, to be able to do all the tapping. Guys like Paul Gilbert did this a lot back in the Racer X days. But then what Tosin's doing is he's clearly just put it in his mouth. You see in the video. So let's just lose the pic for a second. And he'll start tapping with this index finger here, but then his middle finger will tap an adjacent string, which is really cool. So you get what's called the multi-finger tap for obvious reasons, because it's multi-fingered tapping. A buddy of mine named Chris Broderick has a video. I think it's called The Bet You Can't Play This. And he actually does the most insane thing I've ever seen with this, where he'll 8-finger tap. Some of the most ridiculous stuff you've ever seen. Please check it out. I love the green screen work in this, man. Oh, what a killer shot. Note to self, steal that for my own guitar playthrough videos coming up. What a camera shot that was. Really cool extended chords too. If you guys want a metaphor or representation of what's going on here, the way that if you were a kid, you sang that song, Row, Row, Row Your Boat, right? So if you sang Row, Row, Row Your Boat gently down the, and then right there your buddy came in after, you're still singing the same words, relatively the same key, unless you're singing Sucks Like Mine, and you guys would be singing exactly the same thing. But what's cool about it is it makes this like cascading or delayed effect. And that's similar to what we're seeing with the scale run here. By tapping the run, hammering it on over here, and then tapping some of the other parts as it goes, he's able to kind of give this sensation of slowed down almost time, like the universe is coming to a halt. And it makes for just some... It's just an example that Tosin really knows what the hell he's doing. Drum groove. I'm always a sucker for that cymbal work. Rhythm. So he's playing a lot of unison chords where you can hear them just bleeding into each other, and they'll just ring for a while a sick groove is being held up by Javier and the drummer. I keep saying the drummer because I know the drummer's name is Matt, but I really do not recognize him without the goatee in this video. So I would hate to be calling him Matt the whole time and it not actually be him. On the subject, guys, go look up Matt Garska. The guy's a freaking beast. A beast. Figure sound out cool. This is like organs or something going on, like human organs that they're trying to animate in slowly, piece by piece, as this goes on. I'm not really sure. sick part coming up. It's so good. All the horrendous things. A lot of times, to the new listener of this band, the leads might be a bit much in the sense of like it's hard to navigate through and kind of get your eyes and your ears to a point where you're accepting what's being told, and that's because it uses a lot of altered style scaling, right? And a lot of the weird extended chord range things can be a little weird at first. If you listen to jazz, you're gonna have like an easy time, or easier time, I should say. But if you're finding that you just can't do it, if you're just finding that you just can't come to terms with what's going on, give yourself some time. When I first heard this band, I did not like them. The same with this band, Cattle Decapitation. Did not like them for a while. It took me a bit, but I kind of found little pieces that I did like and kind of worked from there, and now I can appreciate the whole thing as a whole, especially with bands like this that are doing such extreme technical things at first. Yeah, it's a bit much to come across. I feel you. But ride it out, because it's worth the wait, guys. Green screen effects are cool. But this is a cool idea. Yeah, really, there's no other way to end this except for a gradual fade up. It's such a good part. Yeah, buddy. Cool, and the way you started. So the one thing I do want to say is I think the video is a bit lackluster, to be honest. I feel in general it's a bit lackluster of a video, because it strikes me as like either there was a budget concern of some kind when the shot was being done or the album was being done, which is I've said that before on this channel, that like getting an album done is so ridiculously expensive, in the sense of like every like little piece that you're not thinking of. It's like $10 here, $5 there, but instead of 10 and 5, it's like 500 and 1,000 and another 1,000 and 5,000 and blah blah blah. But it adds up. Like it really stockpiles on the things you got to do to a release. If you guys want me to talk about that, let me know in the comments. My band's released a few records. I can run you through how we're doing it. In fact, right now, even at the time of this video, we're in an album cycle right now where we're getting ready to push a new record and put it out into the world. And it'd be a good topic, I think, to talk about. Let me know in the comments. I just want to talk about the music so bad. This band is gnarly for what they're doing with the technical extreme, and then actually some song composition extreme. We're seeing some extensions of chords, and if anybody wants to know what a chord extension is, think of it like an octave. An octave, I've always explained, is like the same note played at a different pitch. But a chord can typically be described as having 3 notes in it, unless they're getting extreme. But if we think of those 3 notes and each one having an octave on it, and then maybe more octaves on it, and then maybe only this one has 2 octaves and this one has 3 octaves, you could really extend the chord, thus giving its name chord extensions. But like really extend it through, and adding these altered tones right into the chord and giving you these weird sounds that make your ear a little complex and a little confused at how it's going to like resolve what's going on and what it's hearing. And I'm such a sucker for that. Then lay into that a great secondary guitarist, which the thing about this band is in their later stuff, like I was talking about the record The Joy of Motion, definition. It's not a very clear definition who is the lead guitarist and who's the follow-up one. In this song, I think it comes across pretty obvious that Tosin is described in this tune anyway in a playing context as being the lead guitarist. Had the majority, if not all, of the solos and all of the leads, and Javier sitting back with some cool rhythmic context stuff, which is neat. But in later songs, they really share it 50-50, especially a song called The Brain Dance or another song called Woven Web, like I mentioned. They're altering back and forth, which is super fun to watch and listen to, and it makes it interesting. If you get a chance to see these guys live, go see it. They perform it just as bloody good as you're witnessing on the CD, and that is fantastic to see anytime you get the chance. Check out the other songs by Animals as Leaders. You won't be disappointed. And check out bands like Cattle Decapitation, because I love them. And check out bands like Intervals. Check out my band if you feel like it, Without Mercy. It's all fun, guys. This is awesome. Thank you so much for watching this video. And as always, watch it go.